Hey guys, today we have a new soap maker that I have never tried. They've been around for a while, a little bit. Talbot shaving. And this one's called Double Trouble. It says Explore. Is this the company? This might be the company that does a benefit for all the soaps you buy directly from them to the Trust for Public Land or something like that. And I think that's a neat cause. This is mostly used up, maybe half left. And that's the way I bought it. It's such a hard brand to get that I guess just ended up having to wait until somebody had used theirs for quite a while and was ready to move on to something different. And I've seen one where I could have pre-ordered, and it was called Valley of Fire. But the description didn't really seem to tempt me enough to buy it blindly. But I did buy it used, and actually I think it came with this one. So I'll be putting a shave or two up with that one at some point in the near future. The razor we're going to use is that same Aristocrat 1934. It's the American one. It's the first twist open that was ever made, put into production. Pretty cool. So we'll look at that. I've got a little bit more time yesterday than I had, a little more time today than I had yesterday. So that's good. We don't have to be quite as rushed. The blade I'm going to use inside the razor is the Personna Platinum. It's super platinum. Oh, it says platinum chrome. Personas are sometimes very confusing. Let's go ahead and put it in. If I have time, I'll do a razor tour at the end of this video. The brush I'm going to use today is Stirling's Finest, and in the fan shape, and I think it's 24 millimeter. I think I've just used that a couple times. I've been pretty happy with it so far. All right, I think we're ready to just throw some water on my face as a pre-thing. Help to just moisten my beard, start that process. Now we will load. So the deal with this scent, and I'll shake most of the water out of the brush. Okay, and then we'll, looks like it's been a while, so let's do a 40-second load. So the deal with this scent, it's called Double Trouble because that was the name of one of the airplanes that a man named Bill flew in World War II. And the creators of Talbot wanted to honor him with this soap. It's got notes of leather, motor oil, and that kind of symbolizes his days in the war. It's also got cedar, coffee, and rose. And the rose is for his wife, who just kind of kept him grounded and was just such a great influence on him and everybody around her. And that is 40. The coffee and the cedar are for Bill, and how after the war he was just a great guy. He did what he said he would do. He led by example. And apparently he had a great impact on the Talbot creator's life, it looks like. And the scent is designed to reflect portions of Bill and his character and personality. The write-up said that it was supposed to be kind of simple on the top, on kind of face value, kind of simple. But when you get underneath, there's some complexity there and some character. So let's see if that comes out. It's possible that it may not, since this soap seems to be a little on the old side. All right, now do I have, okay. All right, let's mix it up. 40 seconds might be a lot. I might end up with tons of lather. So like I mentioned yesterday, I thought I bought a 34. Aristocrat on eBay a month ago, or something like that. But it wasn't. And I was alerted to that fact by one of my viewers who is apparently good at seeing the differences, and told me that that was a 1936. The way he recognized it was probably the height of the head, relatively speaking. And when I get back to my home location, I'll bring out both at the same time. I got a nice scent coming up to greet me here. Maybe a little bit of leather, a little bit of oil, but I think it's partly the rose. And good thing is the rose seems to be playing really nicely with the other ingredients. Sometimes florals, not my thing. I just put in 1.5 teaspoons of water, and looks like it's going to be a nice thirsty soap, so we'll give it some more. Pretty soft water at this location. So I realized that I had a 1936, and so I will be able to maybe do a comparison. I'll probably keep the 34 because it gave me a nice shave yesterday, and so I'll debate on whether or not I want to keep the 36. I don't need to keep every possible permutation, of the different razors. It did shave nicely, the 36 did. We've got about 3.5 teaspoons of water in this lather so far. I'm watching a lot of Talbot be talked about and enjoyed. Finally get to try it myself. I've got some interesting scents, definitely some of the ones that I've read about. Sounded nice. I think that cedar, I think now is coming up, and the zestiness of the cedar is coming up to me. This is a tallow soap. It also has shea butter, a little bit of lanolin, palm kernel oil, marshmallow root. How about that? Am I reading that right? Yep. Meadow foam oil and tussa silk. So it's a tallow soap with some stuff in it to make it good. So here's how it looks so far. It feels a little dry, but it might be about right. Haha, look at that. That might be right where it needs to be. Let's take a feel. That's nice and slick. A nice buttery slickness. I think I will push a little bit more water into it. Yeah, feels good on my hand. As I'm rinsing, I can really feel the slickness kind of come to life. I'm going to go ahead and refill my syringe one more time. I don't expect to go any more than this, but so now we're at 4.5 teaspoons. lather looks really good. Nice and shiny to some degree. There we go. Let's try that. And wet my face one more time. Double trouble. Yeah, that cedar really adds a minty almost, kick to it. Easy to pick up. Do I smell the coffee? Maybe a little bit, but it's more of a, if it's there, it's more of a grounding note for me, which is good. I'm not a super fan of coffee. You see the tracks, a little bit of lumpiness to it. That often means we need to add in a little bit more water. Even though this looked really good and elastic in the bowl. Matter of fact, there's probably some here that is going to fly off if I keep adding water. So I'll just go ahead and put it in the bowl and kind of just use what's on my face, because if I'm right and this needs a little bit more water, then we're going to be making some more lather as we combine more water to it. Yeah, this is starting to feel better. Creamier. Something you just get a feel for. And the brush actually starts to feel a little better with it too. See, now look at that. It's not as rough looking. It's not as clumpy looking. It's smoothed out. So, right choice. And I think I still am going to add a little bit more. To be honest, that cedar or mintiness is kind of getting in the way for me. It's not my favorite scent. I'm not a minty kind of guy. And again, look at that extra stuff. So I'm going to rake a lot of that in. And so we are kind of building more lather on my face here. And I'll try to make a note of that next time I use Talbot, that it can really get nice and slippery before you put it on your face. The feel is much better now, much creamier. Let's go ahead and stop there. I'll definitely have to add more to my bowl, because it's hasn't had the water added yet. Well, we've done some good scrubbing, and look, see, it's still making lather. Done some good scrubbing on my face. Oh, that's slick. That feels really good. So now we will switch to the painting motions and just lay down a nice thin pass. We don't need thickness at this point, or ever really. Whew, had a rough night last night. Got up several times. It was not fun. So I'm a little raggedy today. All right. So, Platinum from Personna. So I got a good bit of blade feel yesterday on the first pass, but it was pretty consistent. You know, I didn't feel like I was about to cut myself or anything like that. Similar feel today. Then the second pass was, and the third were just dreamy. And again, one of the rules most people follow about wet shaving is just reduce hair on each pass. Don't try to get it all. I do a little bit more than that by the buffing that I do. I could do just kind of one pass in certain area, in most areas, you know, one coverage stroke over it and then leave it, you know, but I don't know, it's just kind of a muscle habit of mine actually. All right, let me rinse this off. All right, since I had to add so much to the brush, to about where I got to 6 teaspoons, I went ahead and added another 1.5 teaspoons to the bowl here and mixed it up. And the lather is nice and wet. I mean, look at that. Falling in on itself real easy. I think it's going to be perfect. There we go. Man, this is a soap base that you can really push with water. Light touch on the razor. As you can see, I'm kind of holding it like this. Not trying to get a lot of leverage. And with this grip, I'm again holding it just in the middle. Lets it be able to flex. That's just kind of the way I like to keep a light touch. Well, comfort-wise, this blade is definitely agreeing with this razor. Just have to see how close the shave is at the end. I think the zestiness of the cedar is kind of going to be a problem for me. It's just kind of overwhelming. I do smell the leather and the motor oil to a small extent. And I do smell the rose, and I think it's acting as a really nice element in this combination. But to me, the cedar is just stepping up a little too much with that almost minty nature to it, a little punchy. All right, let's rinse. Well, I did a 40-second load, and it was way too much. Probably could have done a 20-second load. I didn't see menthol listed in this soap, so that's why I'm assuming it's the cedar. This soap does seem to leave a nice residual slickness down so that you can touch up areas without having to relather, which is very nice. Okay, let me take a look at that. That got done pretty well without a specific touch-up. Little trouble spot right here. Why not, since we have so much extra soap? See what we can do there. All right, that'll be it. Well, looks like the Personna Platinum worked really well with this razor for me. As always, blades are subjective. Just even if you have the exact same equipment as me, your feel of the blade, your experience, your even your closeness may not match what I'm able to get. It may be better actually, because blades are so subjective. Our hairs, the thickness, the density, the skin type that we all have, they're all different variables, and so that's why it's you just have to basically try out a bunch of blades and see what works for you. And then if you have another razor that becomes one of your favorites, you kind of have to try all the blades out again. Your favorite in one razor may not be your favorite blade in another razor. So in terms of water used for this guy, I think we're looking at 7.5 teaspoons, which is really high, but that's just because I overloaded the soap. You know, making sure that I had enough soap. Well, I sure did. I've probably got 4 passes in the bowl still, at least 3. And it's wonderful. It's slick, it's creamy, it feels buttery on the face. Just the slickness is tremendous. Luxurious rinses between passes. I'm a big fan of this soap base. This soap scent may not be for me, but the Talbot soap base is really nice. And it deserves a lot of in my opinion, based on this first impression, it deserves a lot of the acclaim and rarity and demand that is being afforded to it. So the Personna Platinum did really well. This was its 7th use. Ooh, a really nice close shave right there. I don't think I see any length on any of these tips, and that's uncommon. So this beat whatever blade I used yesterday. Was it a Nasset? I don't remember. So this is an excellent combination for me, at least. Comfortable and close cutting. I went back in the touch-up and really kind of went over this area. The soap protected me well, and the razor didn't cause any irritation or anything like that. So often that does happen when I go back and readdress an area. This one, trying to get those tricky hairs that lay down so close to the skin, I do sometimes end up with a little irritation right there. None this time. I was using cold water today, colder than usual. That sometimes helps. But the Personna Platinum Chrome was a great blade for me today. Yeah, while I love the performance, the Cedar or whatever he's putting in there to try to get the cedar scent seems to be a problem for me a little bit. Just a little bit too zesty. And I only smell it in the lather form. I'm not really getting it too much right here from the tub. But anyway, it's a good soap, very good base. Talbot, I'm glad to try it. And here, let's throw on a little bit. It is a winter day. Throw on a little bit of Soap Commander unscented. This is their Integrity, the one they call Integrity. And it is the non-menthol version of Integrity. And yesterday I used Lamplight Pennants from Chatillon Luxe and used the same balm, and I continued to enjoy to smell the soap for maybe an hour and a half of the Lamplight Pennants, and it was very soft. I didn't actually think I was going to smell it after the shave, but I did. It kept coming up. It was very, very nice. All right, well, we're done for the day. It's a great shave. What a nice base. And really enjoying this 1934 Aristocrat. Sure, let's do a little quick razor tour. So here we go. We have the doors which meet together. There's no, the center bar doesn't come up through them like with some. Of course, we have an open comb. If you look at the little posts here in the holes, they're not rivets. And I believe in the 36 version, they look like rivets. I showed you last time. The other side of the rivets over here is just a line. You don't actually see any other kind of rivet shape or anything. And that's a great way to tell for sure, apparently, the 34 from the 36. The 34 has the slightly thinner head. It's got some patent markings around it. Here, let me read those for you. Up here at the top band, it says, Pat No 195 6175. Reissue Pat No 18955. And then on the bottom band right here it says patent numbers. It says NOS 1912 461 1918 227 1919 794 1922 072 1928 364. It does have a hollow handle here, like all the ones that kind of have this same handle look. And there we go. It doesn't have an end cap. Those came later. Very nice. Hey, so we're all done. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I hope there's been something here good for you. I sure did enjoy the shave and the soap performance, and I continue to enjoy this nice little brush from Stirling. He's not very expensive. The Finest Badger, and they have an extra dense one out there now that's $20 more, but to me, I don't want to get any more dense than this one. And this is a little on the backbone side, so if you're looking for a Badger that's kind of inexpensive but has a little bit of backbone to it, I think this is a good option. There are others like the Macedo Silver Tip, Whip Dog, the Golden Nib Silver Tip Premium version, and those are excellent Badgers, Silver Tip Badgers, 3 bands and stuff that are have a lot less backbone than this guy, and so they have more comfort, softness, that sort of thing, cloud-like experience. So there we go. Super soft tips on this one. Really enjoy it. But the backbone does have a different feel than one of those cloud type brushes I mentioned earlier. All right, guys. Hey, take care.